read, raise your hand, okay, like this thing right here.
Jeff Alcoholic, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Jeff Alcoholic, page, it says step 2 out of the 12 and 12, page 25. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Jeff Alcoholic. The moment they read step 2, most AA newcomers are confronted with a dilemma, sometimes a serious one. How often have we heard them cry out, "Look what you people have done to us. You have convinced us that we are alcoholics and that our lives are unmanageable. Having reduced us to a state of absolute helplessness, you now declare that none but a higher power can remove our obsession. Some of us won't believe in God, others can't, and still others who believe that God exists have no faith whatever he will perform this miracle. Yes, you've got us over a barrel, all right, but where do we go from here?" Well, let's look at the first case of the one who says he won't believe, the belligerent one. He's in a state of mind which can be described only as savage. His whole philosophy of life, in which he is so gloried, is threatened. It's bad enough, he thinks, to admit that alcohol has him down for keeps. But now, still smarting from that admission, he is faced with something really impossible. How he does cherish the thought that man, risen so majestically from a single cell in the primordial ooze, is the spirit of evolution and therefore the only God that his universe knows. Must he renounce all this to save himself? At this juncture, his AA sponsor usually laughs. This, the newcomer thinks, is just about the last straw. This is the beginning of the end, and so it is. The beginning of the end of his old life and the beginning of his emergence into a new one. His sponsor probably says, "Take it easy. The hoop you have to jump through is a lot wider than you think. At least I found it so." So did a friend of mine who was once a vice president of the American Atheist Society, but he got through with room to spare. "Well," says the newcomer, "I know you're telling me the truth. It's no doubt a fact that AA is full of people who once believed as I do, but just how, in these circumstances, does a fellow take it easy? That's what I want to know." That, agrees the sponsor, is the very good question indeed. I think I can tell you exactly how to relax. You won't have to work at it very hard either. Listen, if you will, to these 3 statements. First, Alcoholics Anonymous does not demand you believe anything. All of its 12 steps are but suggestions. Second, to get sober and to stay sober, you don't have to swallow all of step 2 right now. Looking back, I found that I took it piecemeal myself. Third, all you really need is a truly open mind. Just resign from the debating society and quit bothering yourself with such deep questions as whether it was the hen or the egg that came first. Again, I say, all you need is an open mind. The sponsor continues. Take, for example, my own case. I had a scientific schooling. Naturally, I respected, venerated, even worshiped science. As a matter of fact, I still do, all except the worship part. Time after time, my instructors held up to me the basic principle of all scientific progress: search and research again and again, always with an open mind. When I first looked at AA, my reaction was just like yours. This AA business, I thought, it's totally unscientific. This I can't swallow. I simply won't consider such nonsense. Then I woke up. I had to admit that AA showed results, prodigious results. I saw that my attitude regarding those had been anything but scientific. It wasn't AA that had the closed mind, it was me. The minute I stopped arguing, I could begin to feel and see and feel. Right there, step 2 gently and very gradually began to infiltrate my life. I can't say upon what occasion or upon what day I came to believe in a power greater than myself, but I certainly have that belief now. To acquire it,
Jeff,
I
what
only had
page
to stop
what page
fighting
are you on now?
and practice the rest of AA's
Hey,
program
Jeff, what
enthusiastically.
what page are you on now?
Oh, 27.
Okay,
And
so just everybody,
I'll,
just read 2 pages. So let's move to the next reader right
sure,
now.
go ahead.
So that would,
Middle of 27, just pick it up. Yeah.
all right. So yeah, don't go on forever. So go ahead, Kelly, you're up.
Thank you very much, Kelly Alcoholic. This is only one man's opinion based on his own experience, of course. I must quickly assure you that AAs tread innumerable paths in their quest for faith. If you don't care for the one I've suggested, you'll be sure to discover one that suits you that suits if you only look and listen. Many a man like you has begun to solve the problem by the method of substitution. You can, if you wish, make AA itself your higher power. Here's a very large group of people who have solved their alcohol problem. In this respect, they are certainly a power greater than you, who have not even come close to a solution. Surely you can have faith in them. Even this minimum of faith will be enough. You will find many members who have crossed the threshold just this way. All of them will tell you that once across, their faith broadened and deepened. Relieved of the alcohol obsession, unaccountably their lives unaccountably transformed. They came to believe in a higher power, and most of them began to talk of God. Consider next the plight of those who once had faith but lost it. There will be those who have drifted into indifference, those filled with self-sufficiency who have cut themselves off, those who have become prejudiced against religion, and those who are downright defiant because God has failed to fulfill their demands. Can AA experience tell all of these that they may still find a faith that works? Sometimes AA comes harder to those who have lost or rejected faith than to those who had never had any faith at all, for they think they have tried faith and found it wanting. They have tried the way of faith and the way of no faith. Since both ways have proved disappointing, they have concluded there is no place whatever for them to go. The roadblock of indifference, fancied self-sufficiency, prejudice, and defiance often prove more solid and formidable for these men than any erected by the unconvinced agnostic or even the militant atheist. Religion says the existence of God can be proved. The agnostic says it can't be proved, and the atheist claims proof of the non-existence of God. Obviously, the dilemma of the wanderer from faith is that of profound confusion. He thinks himself lost to the comfort of any conviction at all. He cannot attain in even a small degree the assurance of the believer, the agnostic, or the atheist. He is the bewildered one. Any number of AAs
Oh,
can say to,
okay, let's stop right there. So everybody, let's just read a page each. So we're on to the next person. You want to unmute them, please? That's Ted. Unmute him. Unmute Ted. All right, Ted, if you can pick it up from there, please.
Thank you very much. I'm Ted and I am an alcoholic. Any number of AAs can say to the grifter, yes, we were very diverted from our childhood faith too. The overconfidence of youth and was too much for us. Of course, we were glad that good home and religious training had given us certain values. We still we were still sure that we ought to be fairly honest, tolerant, and just. That ought to be the ambitious and hardworking. We became convinced that such simple rules of fair play and decency would be enough. Sure as material success founded upon no more than these ordinary attributes began to come to us, we felt we were winning at the game of life. This was exciting, and it made us happy. Why should we be bothered with the theological abstractions and the religious duties, or with the state of the souls here or hereafter? The here and now was good enough for us. The will to win would carry us through. But then alcohol began to have its way with us. Finally, when our scorecards were at zero, and we saw that one more strike would put us out of the game forever, we had to look for our lost faith. It was in AA that we discovered it, and so can you. Now we come to another kind of problem, the intellectual, self-sufficient man or woman. To these, many AAs could say, yes, we were like you too, far too smart for our own good. We loved to have people call us precocious. We used our education to blow ourselves up into prideful balloons, though we were careful to hide this from others. Secretly, we felt we could float above the rest of the folks on our brain power alone. Scientific progress told us There was nothing man couldn't do. Knowledge was all powerful. Intellect could conquer nature. Sure, this was brighter than most folks, so we thought. The spoils of victory would be ours for the thinking. The God of intellect displaced the God of our fathers. But again, John Barleycorn had other ideas.
Okay, over to Sam. Thank you, Ted, for reading.
Hey everyone, Sam, Grateful Alcoholic here. Okay, here we go. Oh, lost my place. We're the last paragraph of page 29, right? All right.
You won't lose your place.
I did lose my place. Apologies.
It is we who had won so handsomely, page 30.
Yeah, okay, I found it. We who had won so handsomely in a walk around into all-time losers. We saw that we had to reconsider our die. We found many in AA who once thought as we did. They helped us to get down to our right size. By their example, they showed us that humility and intellect could be compatible, provided we place humility first. When we began to do that, we received the gift of faith, a faith in which works. This faith is for you too. Another crowd of AA says we were plump disgusted with religion and all that it works. The Bible, we said, was full of nonsense. We could cite it chapter and verse, and we couldn't see the beatitudes for the bigots. In spots, its morality was impossibly good. In others, it seemed impossibly bad. But it was the morality of the religionists themselves that really got us down. We gloated over the hypocrisy, bigotry, and crushing self-righteousness that clung to us many believers even in their Sunday best. How we loved to shout the damaging fact that millions of the good men of religion were still killing one another off in the name of God. This all meant, of course, that we had substituted negative for positive thinking. After we came to AA, we had to recognize that this trait had been an ego-feeding proposition. And belaboring the sins of some religious people, we could feel superior to all of them. Moreover, we could avoid looking at some of our own shortcomings, self-righteousness, the very thing that we had contemptuously condemned in others was our own besting evil. This phony form of respectability was our undoing, so far as faith was concerned. But finally driven to AA, we learned better.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me.
Who's the next person here? Go ahead, Scar, you're up.
Okay. A scar alcoholic, as psychiatrists have often observed, defiance is the outstanding characteristic of many an alcoholic. So it's not strange that lots of us have had our day at defying God Himself. Sometimes it's because God has not delivered us from the good things of life which we specified, as a greedy child makes an impossible list for Santa Claus. More often, though, we had met up with some major calamity and, to our way of thinking, lost out because God deserted us. The girl we wanted to marry had other notions. We prayed God that she'd change her mind, but she didn't. We prayed for healthy children, and we were presented with sick ones, or none at all. We prayed for promotions at business, and none came. Loved ones upon whom we heartily depended were taken from us by so-called acts of God. Then we became drunkards and asked God to stop that, but nothing happened. This was the unkindest cut of all. Damn this faith business, we said. When we encountered AA, the falsity of our defiance was revealed. At no time had we asked what God's will was for us. Instead, we had been telling Him what it ought to be. No man we saw could believe in God and defy Him too. Belief meant reliance, not defiance. In AA, we saw the fruits of this belief. Men and women spared from alcohol's final catastrophe. We saw them met and transcended their other pains and trials. We saw them calmly accept impossible situations, seeking neither to run nor to recriminate. This was not only faith. It was faith that worked under all conditions. We soon concluded that whatever price in humility we must pay, we would pay. Now let's take the guy full of faith, but still seeking of alcohol.
Okay, so over to Lisa. Oh, Jason, go ahead, Joe. And Rebecca's here too. Go ahead, Rebecca. You're up.
Hi, Rebecca, alcoholic. He believes he is devout. His religious observance is scrupulous. He's sure he still believes in God, but suspects that God doesn't believe in him. He takes pledges and more pledges. Following each, he not only drinks again, but acts worse than the last time. Valiantly, he tries to fight alcohol, imploring God's help, but the help doesn't come. What then can be the matter? To clergymen, doctors, friends, and families, the alcoholic who means well and tries hard is a heartbreaking riddle. To most AAs, he is not. There are too many of us who have just been like him and have found the riddle's answer. This answer has to do with the quality of faith rather than its quantity. This has been our blind spot. We supposed we had humility when really we hadn't. We supposed we had been serious about religious practices when, upon honest appraisal, we found we had only been superficial. Or going to the other extreme, we had wallowed in emotionalism and had mistaken it for true religious feeling. In both cases, we had been asking something for nothing. The fact was, we really hadn't cleaned house so that the grace of God could enter us and expel the obsession. In no deep or meaningful sense had we ever taken stock of ourselves, made amends to those we had harmed, or freely given to another human being without any demand for a reward. We had not even prayed rightly. We had always said, God grant me wishes, instead of thy will be done. The love of God and man we understood not at all. Therefore, we remained self-deceived and so incapable of receiving enough grace to restore us to sanity. Few indeed are the practicing alcoholics who have any idea how irrational they are, or seeing their irrationality can bear to face it. Some will be willing to term themselves problem drinkers, but cannot endure the suggestion that they are in fact mentally ill. They are abetted in this blindness by the world, which does not understand the difference between sane drinking and alcoholism. Sanity is defined as soundness of mind. Yet no alcoholic soberly analyzing his destructive behavior, whether the destruction fell on the dining room furniture or his own moral fiber, can claim soundness of mind for himself. Therefore, step 2 is the rallying point for all of us. Whether agnostic, atheist, or former believer, we can stand together on this step. True humility and an open mind can lead us to faith, and every AA meeting is an assurance that God will restore us to sanity if we rightly relate ourselves to him. Thank you for letting me read.
Well, that seems to be the end of it. And thank you, everybody, for reading here. Oops. Let me fix this. There it is. Okay. Wow. So that was really something.
Yeah.
So it really that lends itself to what we've been talking about all along about God and faith. You know, and here he talks about the grace of God, letting the grace of God come into us and heal us. So he's right there in writing this book. They're really talking about the power of God coming in and healing us. And a lot of times, you know, in AA, we dance around the depth of that, but it's a mistake. We have to go right to it. We have to go right for the power, for the energy, for the healing. Otherwise, well, I mean, he talks about it a great deal. He talks about too about those people that are intellectual, smart. They figure that he talks about the will to win. So the will to win will carry us through, but it doesn't. It doesn't heal alcoholism, and that's the problem we're having in today's society. We have all these treatment centers and all these programs, with the courts and social services, which is really about behavioral modification and you getting the will to stay sober. And none of those things work. They keep doing them over and over. And the reason that they've moved away from Alcoholics Anonymous is we have an entire mental health field of doctorates and MSWs who don't believe in God. They think that AA is hokey. Yet it's the only program going that actually really works. I know a lot of times you'll go to meetings and say, "I'm not saying AA is the only way. There are other ways." No, there aren't. I made a study of this. There's a lot of bullshit out there that does not help people, and a lot of people die because we have basically the atheists have taken over, and they're out there spending billions of dollars trying to heal alcoholics, and it doesn't work. So that's why Alcoholics Anonymous, we have this massive population of several million. I mean, what other programs have you heard that have millions and millions? How about none? Okay. And then we say in AA, we say, well, we're not going to get into a political discussion about this. Well, I'm like, oh, yes, we are. I mean, if you want to live and you want to stay sober, you hang in there doing this 12-step process, how to stay sober, live your life without drinking, and you get to end up with like 47 years like me, or 39 like Jeff, or Ted has 32. It isn't by accident. We didn't just like, oh, well, no. If you find the people that actually have stayed sober for a while have actually worked this 12-step process and let it integrate itself into it. So that's what we're doing here, each and every single one of those, even though most people here have less than a year. And this is Newcomers Slippers Step Workshop. This this is the foundational work of AA right here. This is what they did in the 1930s, between 32 and 39, when Bill and Bob and the first 100 members formed AA. They came up with this 12-step process, which included God, and they all stayed sober for the rest of their life, 80 to 100%. You go to AA meetings today, you feel like you're in a social services, group. Sometimes they'll say, well, AA is a self-help group. No, it's not. AA is a God help group. What? And we call upon a higher power, the fourth dimension, to come in here and heal us up. And it's hard enough that way. So where the heck were we? We were at, so a couple of people are working on steps, and okay. So Rosa, you're ready to do your fifth step. Scar, you're ready to do your fifth step. And then so let's do this. We have some room. So Lisa, could you do okay, I'm gonna ask you to unmute, and Rosa. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask Rosa and Lee and Scar go into the fifth step room with Lisa. And then Lisa, you know how to take people through the fifth step? Okay, I mean, you know the details of it, right? How we do it. Okay. So why don't you go in with Scar and Lisa, and somebody move them into we'll just go into room 1, breakout room 1. Okay. Are you moving them there, Sam? Do you know how to do it? Let's go. Let's see here. So Scar, we're going to move you into room 1. Rosa, we're moving you into room 1. Sam's moving you. Let's go. Rebecca, you can help too. Very good. Let me see, where are they?
Yeah, somebody has to move me.
I'm gonna try. There you are, Lisa. You see, you're not moved in there yet. into room 1. Okay, I just moved you in there. Is Rosa in there? Somebody talk to me.
I don't see anybody in room 1 yet.
What the hell happened? Oh, let's see here. Lisa's in there. She's supposed to be. And Scar. Sam, you don't know how to move people in? Room
Or I
1,
can move them.
Scar. Okay,
Okay.
Rosa, I'm moving her in here. Why did
Won't
I
let
ask to
me.
just do it myself? Okay, there you go. What do you mean it won't let you?
It doesn't exist for me.
They're all in there.
I can join, I just can't add people.
And then are you
can't add
putting
people.
Rebecca in as well?
No,
Oh, I thought you
only
were.
you.
Okay.
So are you in there? I've already invited you in there. Yeah, it says Lisa join. Okay, good. What do you mean it won't let you? That's crazy. Ashley. Ashley. Okay, Ashley. So you're working on step 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you go into this step 1 with Sam, and I want you to do the writing in there with him, okay? Can you do
Okay.
that? Huh?
Yeah.
You need to get going. Get writing,
Which room do you want us to do?
What?
Which
What
room do you
room?
want us to use?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
just a second. So are you having a hard time? It'll be room 2, but are you having a hard time doing the writing for
No.
step? Okay, so go in with
Kind of
Sam. He'll
accepted
help you.
it. So
Do you like
yeah.
Sam?
Yeah. He's nice
Okay.
person.
Well, if you were in the Marines, you wouldn't say that, but no, I'm just kidding. Okay, so you guys can't be moved in there. I don't understand why. Why is that? Let me see. I'll try to move you in there. Room 2, Sam's in there already, and I'm gonna move it. So now we need to move in. Where is she? Ashley. Where's Ashley? There's Ashley. Assigned to. What is wrong with our system here? Room 2. Okay, Ashley, there you go. Perfect. Bye, Ashley. You have to accept and go in that room. There she is. That's how we do this class. Okay. Oh, did she get in there? No. Okay. Now she's in there. Okay. Now, um, let's see. Let's go to, hang on here for a minute. So, Chris, how many days have you been to this meeting? Jan to
This
Chris,
would
and
be
also,
day 3.
okay, this is day 3 for you?
Yes.
Okay, and Nick, how about you? How many times have you been to this meeting before, Nick? No? Russ, how about you? You been to this room before? Been to this meeting? Andy, you've
No,
been to this meeting before?
no, I have not.
Yeah, this is my 3rd day also.
Okay, so who's 3 days? Okay, perfect. Let's do this. Rebecca, I'm gonna have you go to room 3 with Andy and Nick and give them the instructions on the first half of the first step, okay? Are you good with that?
Has Nick been here before? He's not responded to anyone.
He just talked to me.
Oh, it's Chris.
No, it was someone else.
Okay, wait.
Andy, that's
So,
all.
it's Russ. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. It's Russ and,
Chris.
okay, which one? So who's been here for 3 days?
Me,
And
Chris.
Okay, Andy and Chris. There you go.
Yeah.
Those guys. Okay, they're gonna go in room 3 with you,
First half. Step
Baxter.
1.
Rebecca, did they ever call you Baxter?
Yes.
Okay, I'll try not to be too annoying. Okay, Baxter is going in. Who are you going in there with, Rebecca?
I'm going in with Chris and Andy. No,
Okay,
yes, Andy.
okay,
Right? Yeah.
Chris and Andy with Rebecca in room 3. There you go, Andy, and where's Chris? Chris, there he is, Chris. Chris into room 3. Perfect. Perfecto. Okay, we got classes in session. Okay, Now we have Russ, how you doing? Russ, is this your first time here?
Yes.
Okay. Russ, we're gonna have you go into room 4 with Jason. Jason, are you there? Yep. Jason, I'm gonna send you into room 4 with him, and that's it's the oh crap, what have I done? Okay, co-host. That will be the new the sober up room, so you can explain to him what this meeting's all about. Perfect. Okay, good.
Yes.
So we're gonna move you into room 4. Let me see here. I'm sorry. This meeting is so exciting. Okay, so we're gonna go. Jason's going into room 4 with who did I say? It's, there he is. Russ, you're gonna go into room 4 too.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So just accept. Jason accepts. You just have to accept and go in there. There it is. All right, so now you guys, we could either do bingo or arm wrestling. Look at this. Missy's all ready for arm wrestling. Okay, put your arm up, Missy. Nah! What happened to our guy with 32 years from Florida? He left. As soon as we got to the class, he was like, all right, fuck this, I'm out of here. It's too much. Okay, so today, so here's one of the things that we don't do. This is for Missy. And it's for all of us, okay? And Jeff and I were talking about this earlier. One of the reasons that we don't pair people off one-on-one is because this is a class. This is Newcomers Slippers Step Workshop. So like, let's say Missy, you got paired off for a while with, let's see, Chaz, okay? And then, which is it's another way of doing AA. But then you wrote to me and said, I like talking to Chad sometimes, but I don't want to do my 5th step with her. And we thought, okay, I'm getting this. And it's like this thing about you have someone that you call every day and check in with. We don't do that in this meeting. We do not have people call us every day. And it's a very specific reason why. Okay, and this was for Jeff and for what's his name there, Preston, who blew right out of the meeting yesterday. Because Preston is running around looking for an older male adult to be his dad and tell him what to do. And then when he gets fed up, he moves on to somebody else. And we don't put our program with one person. It's the dangers of one-on-one sponsorship. So, okay, you're going to call me every day, and but Missy really clearly showed. She kept writing to me and said, I don't want to talk to her every day. I like coming to the class and learning what we're doing in the class and going through this class process with one big group. And that's the design. So that's the design of this particular Newcomers Slippers Step Workshop, is that we do it with one big group. But when one person breaks off with a one-on-one sponsorship, it defeats the whole group thing here. Now we're dead. Now they're dead. Now they're like, well, I don't like this person. I don't like that, and I'm not coming anymore, and I don't want to talk to you anymore. And the Mindle machinery starts. So that's why we don't give out phone numbers in here. We don't want people calling, because what happens is mischief can happen. So sometimes it can end up being like a codependent relationship with another human being one-on-one, or it can be a group of people chatting with everybody in the meeting about, we don't like the way this is going. Yeah, we don't like that, and and we should tell him that and we're gonna start our own, and we're leaving, and they get completely away from what we're doing here, which is the 12-step process. And that is the whole problem with AA in general. So that's why, if you notice in the big book, they actually never do talk about sponsorship. That's something that people came up with later in the 40s and 50s. So so this is I mean, Missy actualized it in her own life. She made the move. I mean, a lot of times, okay, you'll hear in this meeting, okay, you can call me, Jann. You can text me, call me, email me. Why is that? Because I jokingly say, because I'm all knowing, I know everything. I am the Lizard King. Wait, no, that's Jim Morrison. Okay, and but what I try to do is take us back to, so what I'll do when somebody's having a big problem, if they call me, I'll say, well, let's first of all, what step are they on? Like with Preston, let's say, okay, well, let's do a step 10 on this. Let's write about this situation and then call me back in. So I talked to him about 2 minutes, write about it and call me back in half an hour after you've written. If we keep the person in this process, and it's why one-on-one sponsorship is so dangerous, because what happens is they end up hating you anyways. And that's kind of what happened here. I mean, Preston left in a huff, probably drinking. He sounds like he's drunk to me. And then what happened to the other lady that was here? Clarice or something. What was her name? I don't remember.
Teresa.
Yeah, Teresa. So she got drunk. And then if you were here earlier the other day, she was blaming me for it. I'm like, oh yeah, that would be my fault. I'm not saying this isn't hard or this can be difficult. But alcoholism is hard and alcoholism is difficult. But the thing is we don't give in to that inner urge to drink. The mind and the alcoholic mind will do whatever it needs to in order to get you to drink. I mean, it's almost satanic. It's almost evil. There's like an evil spirit that grabs a hold of us and says, you need some gin. If you're like, what? No, I don't. Yes, you do. You need a drink. This will make this better. You don't have to put up with this bullshit. I mean, that's what we did every single day. That's what I did every single day. I'm sick and tired of putting up with this. 2 fingers of some gin and that'll fix me up. So, but this is a good lesson for us. This happens every now and then in this meeting. So last week we lost 2 people back to drinking in the alcoholic mind. But I mean, back in October, we lost like 5. They became very heady. In January, we had a couple people on our Telegram that they decided they were going to fight with me. And I'm like, what is this? Why are you doing this? Why are you fighting? I said, okay. And then they came up with some nonsense reason. And I was like, okay, stop. And then I kept using the word stop. And then one of them stopped and then eventually apologized. And the other one basically said, fuck you, I'm leaving. I'm like, okay. And that was that. We had back in October, we had 4 or 5 people. Jeff remembers all of that. One of them was he was leading the meeting sometimes, and there were other people, and oh, Jeff, you remember? I was trying to get one person. I said, look, you're not doing the 12 steps the way we're doing them. You're off doing your own thing. And part of this class is to work your way through all 12 steps and then help people in this method. And that person was like, I don't want to do it, da, 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 da. And I said, well, let's go. And you remember that, Jeff? And then Amanda just said, fuck you, I'm leaving. And so did, you're muted there, Jeff, but so did couple of it. They all left all at once, and you're muted, Jeff. You're
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, remember
that
that?
you
I'm taking
remember
my
that?
coffee pot and I'm out of here.
And they all left, and then they wouldn't talk to me, and then Brian got, oh, it was, a lot of it was over Telegram. And I'm like, what is this? But what it was it's the alcoholism. It's not
Mm.
anything that we do here.
No.
I mean, well, you guys are here. I don't think we don't do anything here that's too offensive. All we do is it's like what's going on in those breakout rooms.
Right.
People are going through early steps. And that's all we do. It's all we do. It's all we ever do here. If
I
you want to,
haven't surrendered, Jeff Alcohol. I haven't surrendered yet. And you're taking my alcohol away from me, and I don't like you. You are the
Well,
problem.
I,
You're right. You're right.
I think that
That's
could be.
untreated. We've all been
I,
there.
I was not happy when I could not drink. If I couldn't have, if I had money, I would drink Beefeater's gin. If I didn't have any money, I'd drink Gilby's, and I'd eat pills, Quaaludes. Then I was happy. But when you took that away from me,
Oh,
I was like, I had a girlfriend that would say, Jesus Christ, I like you better when you have a gin and tonic when you come home and some pills. And I'd be like, you like me when I'm passed out on the floor breaking shit? No. Well, of course not. Well, okay, yeah, go.
Yeah, thank you very much. So when do you see this happening? When do you see this behavior
Oh, it just
rear
pops
its
right up.
ugly head the most? Okay, but it's not like 180 days or
No,
270 or anything like that.
That's a misnomer. Some people will say, well, it happens in the fourth step. I mean, but it'll happen anywhere. It happens on any step, anytime that you
Yeah.
decide. Well, we read about it today. If
They were
we're
all
doing,
at step 12. They've all done, the ones who've done the bail that I can think of are all step 12. So they've all been sober a while.
well, yeah,
Yeah, I nearly jumped ship on step 4, but that was because I didn't have the opportunity. I can see it clearly, yeah. The sponsorship can be definite risky situation because I didn't get the chance to every time I tried to do the step 5, it just got taken over by the person's personal life. So I was almost like, and Jeff and Ron, I didn't come back to the meeting because I was like, oh, I don't want to come to this meeting because Jan's going to put me in a room with her and it's going to be still the same, but I don't want to upset. He'd come in and saw Jeff and Ron and they nutted me out on it. And then they had an emergency step 5-4 meeting with me. Yeah, and so that's, yeah, for me, I mean, I can see sponsorship. If someone doesn't get along with the sponsor, they might not want to come back. So
the thing is, we don't drink and we go to meetings. Now, if you come to this meeting, this is a step workshop. It's right in the name.
Yep.
And I realize for people, it's a hard transition. For me, it's not so hard. I've been doing this since 1987. But it is a transition. But what it does is it puts us in the steps and it puts us in contact with God, the healer, that we read about today. And I promise you, when we get the freedom, we don't ever have to go back and pick up another drink. We get that freedom, Jeff.
Yes, you do.
And even after you're on step 12, you're pulled right back into step 4. So you're constantly reminded, and you can constantly, this just occurred to me. I don't know why it took this long, but it just occurred to me that if you keep coming to this meeting, you are constantly working the steps, constantly.
Constantly, yeah.
That's
and you
right.
are
We don't talk
constantly reflective and constantly thinking about your relationships and
Yep.
Yeah.
well,
Like
that's
yesterday,
right.
Kelly, when we did when Sammy had us do step 1 again. That's how I felt yesterday when Sam had us do the step 1. Yeah, I was like, hang on.
Yes.
Yeah, I was a good.
Yeah,
I was
or
like,
we'll
I'm on step 11. Yeah, it was another.
or
I
we will
learned
do
more
step-
yesterday again.
Or we will do step 11 or 12. We'll do step 10. We'll go through the instructions on step 10, which is just a redo of step 4. Let's see here. So you guys are in step one. Who else is out there? Let me have a look. Okay, we got these guys. Okay, we're here. Lisa, oh, we'll leave Lisa alone. Don't bring anybody back. Leave them alone. Sam is doing step one with Ashley. Okay, no, we're gonna leave everybody in all their rooms. What room were you in, Becca?
I was in the first half of step one with Chris and Andy. Andy was having major audio issues. He couldn't hear, or
What room was it called?
I don't know, someone put me in there.
He had
Oh,
audio
okay.
issues yesterday as well.
Yeah.
Well, in any event, we're not.
But I
We're not.
texted him to write out the format, follow that format.
Oh, here he is. He's coming back.
But Chris did well.
But in any event, don't close the rooms. We're gonna let everybody stay there forever. Hey, so Chris, did you get the instructions on step one?
Yes, I did.
You know what to do?
Yeah, and I think for tomorrow we'll go through the second half tomorrow, from what I was told.
Well, let's see how much you write. Some people come up with 10 incidents. Some people come up with 100.
Okay.
So, so starting with the last time I drank, when it was, what I drank, who I was with, what happened, what the consequences were.
So
Right?
you kind of technically anything that pops up in your memory,
That's right.
all the way back to birth, that is just horrible. You're like, oh
Back to
God, I
birth,
did that thing.
including your birth. This is I was born in a crossfire hurricane. Yeah, your birth. Who else? I was born in the back of I used to do speakers meetings, and I'd start out with, I was born in the back of a Greyhound bus going down Highway 41 in Macon, Georgia. And people would be like, oh, and then other people would be like, oh, great. He's quoting the Allman Brothers. Oh, look at you have your Yankees baseball hat on. There you go. I have one of those. The Yankees are coming here pretty soon. So anyways, that's good, Chris. Yeah, just work on it. I mean, some people do it in a day or two or four, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Just keep writing. Here's Jason's here from the sober the hell up room. Jason, who was in there with you? You can unmute. Oh, Russ. There's Russ. Russ was in there.
Here we go.
How'd it go in there, Russ? Was Jason helpful? You can unmute. Excuse me, hiccups.
Yep, he was very helpful.
Oh, good. Okay. And tomorrow we'll give you the instructions on step one, okay?
All right.
Come every day. Don't miss. Come for 5 days in a row.
All right.
I don't know who this person is behind me. I got to get rid of this thing. I wanted the Pearl Street Mall, and I realized it's a demon. What? Looks like a demon. Here, I'll put this up. This looks a little happier. Does that look like a demon? Probably. That's a demon dog. Okay, whatever. Can't win for losing here. Ashley put up Happy Cinco de Mayo. Maybe is she Hispanic? God, I gotta order Mexican food. I I get so influenced. Anybody who's Mexican here? Anybody? No, I'm not either. Okay. So we were talking about Rebecca and Jason. We were talking about in here about why we don't do one-on-one sponsorships, why we don't do one-on-one phone calls, because we were using both Chrissy and what's his name as an example, both of whom ended up with one-on-one. And then what happens is they can then get mad at you, me, or somebody and blow right out of the room. and which has happened.
Gotta go, guys.
What's that? Oh, is she leaving? Okay. So that's something we don't do. And generally our group or our meeting here is pretty much settled down. We have, oh, I know what it was. It was Kelly was saying, he said that the only thing you guys ever do here is the steps. Every time you come to a meeting, somebody is oh, it looks like these meetings are closing by themselves. Okay. Hey, hey, I have a question. I think they closed by themselves there, Lisa. Welcome back. Were you guys able to get through everybody's fifth step or no? Yeah? Talk to me.
Yes. Yeah,
All right.
we
Well,
did. We went over, everybody admitted to ourselves and others, and then I gave the directions for step 5.
You were supposed to do step 5.
We did step 5. The directions on the bottom of page 75 to return
Oh
home.
yeah. So Rosa, how did that go for you?
It went well. It's going to be a tough time spell, kind of reliving bad choices and
Well, so but
actions.
you did your 5th step, right? Did you?
So that's the assignment going forward, is to complete that 5th step.
Well, wait a minute. The 5th step is when you share with other people. The 4th step is when you write everything out.
Right. We read pages 72 to 75, and then I gave the directions to read the bottom of 75, return
Okay,
home.
but did people give their 5th step? So did you read your 5th step to Lisa, Rosa?
No.
No.
Oh, no. So you haven't done the 5th step. Did you read your 5th step to Lisa, Scar?
No.
No.
No. Okay, so you haven't done the 5th step.
No,
That's what a 5th step is, Lisa, right? Where the person reads it to you.
well, we read pages 72 to 75. We
No,
didn't
that's not
read
it.
each other's, and
No. They're supposed to read the 5th step to you. So let's do this. So, Rebecca, do you understand that part? The person reads their 5th step to you?
Back alcoholic, yes, I do.
Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna redo this tomorrow.
Okay.
Scar and Rosa, are you good with that?
Yes.
So you tell another person. So the 5th step is we admitted to ourselves, to God, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. So that's what the 5th step is. Okay, and you're supposed to get some freedom there. So we'll do that part tomorrow. So what you got today was the introduction to the 5th step. Because this way, Rosa, you don't have to hang on to it.
Right.
This stuff you're worried about. No, we need to get rid of it.
Yes. And not take the soft route, or I'll be back. Have to do it again.
The softer route, what would that be?
Not admitting everything, not, like, oh, I couldn't possibly tell anyone that, like it warned in the book, make sure it's a complete house cleaning.
You want to feel safe, so we want you to
Oh,
feel
yes.
safe in your 5th step. So let me finish here. I mean, like we had one lady, she was from, where was she from? The Caribbean, one of the Caribbean islands. So she did it with her priest, Catholic priest. She didn't want anybody knowing what she was doing. Of course, I'm a jokester. I was like, what, are you like a gangster? You run the gang and you had people murdered? And she's like, no. I'm like, okay, at least you didn't do that. Yeah, no, hey, listen, I mean, I'm here to tell you, this is Alcoholics Anonymous. And the idea is for everybody to feel safe to share the exact nature of our wrongs and what we did, and be able to share it in a space that feels safe. I've done plenty of 5th steps with people, both men and women, and I'm trying to think. Well, whatever. I mean, this isn't like gangster AA, I mean, we don't have like a lot of people who are, okay, well, let's raise your hand. How many murderers in the group? Anybody murderer? No. Okay. All right. No, you're not. uh, rob the 7-Eleven? And nope. Okay. Okay. Fuck the dog. Who fucked their dog?
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
You know what? Okay,
All right,
that's
let's joke
too
into this.
far.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That is fucking too
There's
That
gotta be
is
a
just
dog
over the
fucker in here
line.
somewhere. That's the worst thing you can do, right there. And okay,
Look,
so
he's even getting red. He's so embarrassed.
Yeah, that, no.
that's it's funny.
No,
Okay,
it's not.
you never heard that talk. You never heard that talked about in an AA meeting.
No.
Okay. Well, it has, but okay.
Jesus. Oh my Lord.
She's laughing. Oh no, that is horrible. So I mean, there's nothing worse than that. That's like the worst thing possible. Okay. So are we good? We'll see who comes back tomorrow.
After that one.
Yeah,
No.
I know after that.
What? No, it's like, well, I mean, okay, but I mean, it's people in AA of some of us, not me, of course, but have done pretty terrible things. All of it, everything. Look at
Okay, end this.
Yeah,
falling
drop it.
off this chair.
I'm gonna mute
Wait, while
you.
you're ahead.
I am gonna mute you on
No,
purpose.
no, hey, Jeff, for real. Hey, Jeff, you want to read the promises? This will be
Jeff
a meeting
Alcoholic,
nobody,
South
this will be a
Florida.
meeting nobody forgets.
Promises,
Go
starting
ahead.
on the bottom of page 83, last paragraph. Big Book Alcoholics Anonymous. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We're going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. Thank you for letting me read that.
All right. The serenity prayer goes like this. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So this meeting is officially over. Well, this has been fun. Cut it out, Kelly. It's your fault.
I'm
I was
hiding my
just laughing.
dog.
And by the way, I said that it's good to be to that we're always doing the steps. And if you're involved, you're constantly engaged with the step, regardless of the one you're on. That was a good thing, not a bad thing.
Yeah, that
Totally,
is so true,
100%.
Jeff Alcohol. Yes, that is because, yeah. And today with the step 2 is so wonderful because, when you come in here, if you're like me, you said, wait a minute, I drank too much, too long, too often. But now you're telling me I'm an alcoholic. Well, then I could, once they had me convinced I was an alcoholic, I could say, and that I was powerless, because I said, disasters didn't happen every time. Yeah, but they happened a lot, didn't they? Write it out. Okay, yeah, they happened a lot. So, okay, I'm powerless. But now, so what are you going to do for me? You're telling me I'm powerless and over the first drink. So what? Well, we got step 2. You got to look for power greater than yourself. Well, who is that? I said, greater than yourself, you choose. This program has you
Pretty
either way.
much
It's
convinced.
beautiful.
I was pretty much convinced that I was an alcoholic when I came to my first meeting. I went to my first meeting, I heard what everybody was saying, and I thought, oh, that's me right there. There was no escaping it, but I wanted to escape it. The problem is I wanted to reverse it. And they told me I couldn't reverse it. And I thought that can't possibly be true. That's the bugaboo, and that's when the mind starts working on us. You mean I cannot have a gin and tonic on a nice sunny day out on the patio with a bunch of friends? But the point of it is when I ended drinking, I never went to a patio anywhere. I did not stop in at a beautiful restaurant with palm trees. with the ocean coming in, having, drinking one Mai Tai. No, I wasn't. I was falling down on the side of the street. Will somebody put him in the car? Because I don't think he can get in. Those famous last words. What? Well, let's see. No more about dogs for a while. I guess I can see that.
All right. The consequence is you lose your cat Friday, and we make that dog Thursday and Friday this week.
Yeah.
Did you see the cat video I put up on the, well, some of you guys will have to get you in the, probably Kelly, you're ready to come on to the Telegram and we need to do a training with you. Stay away from dogs. Oh my God. Well, no, this is good because we got through some relatively hard stuff with a couple people who are having hard times back drinking. And that's like, it's like, oh boy, here we go. But that's alcoholism. I mean, we get hit with the harsh reality. Some people, not very many in here that stick with us for a while, go back to drinking, but some people do. They decide to detonate their life.
Well, Jeff, alcoholic, that's one thing I think it's incumbent upon us, if we've ever have slipped and been that, as I told you, shared with you that lion ass that I was, that out of ignorance and arrogance, when I picked up, I figured I'd learn enough. It's incumbent upon us to come in and just try and reinforce that to people here. It doesn't work. I've tried it, and out of my ignorance and my arrogance, and in my first 90 days, then when I came back after just one day, I saw about, was it 3 or 4 people die in my first 90 days that went out for that one. So this thing, I saw, that was what I was sharing with you today, Jan. That seeing those people die and being a death count, that made a believer.
We don't
out
see
of me.
that too much here in this group, and I'll tell you why.
Pardon me?
Because I said we don't see that too much here in this meeting, and the reason is because people that want to keep drinking don't stay here. They go someplace else. It's rare that we see somebody who is 30 days sober in this group and then go back drinking and announce it. But we had that happen twice in the past couple of days. And I'm like, well, go right ahead. It's not necessary. That the thing is that the idea that this is necessary or that it's part of recovery is, we have to dispel that. You do not have to go back drinking
Not part of recovery.
at all, ever. We do it a day. Look at me. Otherwise, if we had to go back drinking, I'd be drinking right now. After what I said at this meeting, I probably should be. Here, puppy.
You're
It's
sober.
okay.
I won't be drinking, but I'll be hiding my dog.
Yeah. Come here. I won't hurt you. Come here.
So here's an AA related question.
Look at
I've been
because
I want to change the subject, obviously.
Thank you.
I've been reading. You're welcome. I
Okay.
did it mostly for me. I've been reading Dr. Bob and the Good Old
Look at
Timers.
Scar. She's falling off of her boat.
You just don't know what's coming
If you
next.
fall in the lake, we can't come and get you out.
So I've been reading Dr. Bob and the Good Old Timers. And then we read Bill's story not so long ago. And I wonder what was written first, Bill's story or how it works. Does anybody know the
cares?
answer to that? I'm just curious.
No, it was Bill's story was written
Was
first. Wait, I want to
Okay.
talk to Scar. So Scar, how you doing? You look happier. You look like this is the first time I've seen you laugh a lot
Yes.
in a while.
Yeah, I am happier. I mean, I can see a noticeable change in my general attitude day to day.
Yeah. Did you notice this is like a bar room in here sometimes without the drinking?
Well, that's a good thing, though.
Exactly.
I think so. Ah.
People watch more clearly now.
Where are you, Scar? Where are you? You're in St.
No, I'm in
Oh,
Maryland. I'm
You're-
in Pasadena, Maryland.
What's that? What is that behind you? Oh, is that the Atlantic Ocean?
I think that's actually the creek. Well, it's Stony Creek, which runs into the Chesapeake Bay, which is like 2 blocks from my house.
Oh, Chesapeake Bay's 2 blocks from your house? Wow.
The creek that runs into it. Yeah.
I've been across.
I'm not that far from the bridge that came down, if you heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I've been
can see
across the
that from
Chesapeake.
my house.
I've been across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge before they changed it. When the wind was really blowing out there, I was like, oh my God. That's like that's is that bridge still there, the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, or did they cover it up or something? Or
What's
what did they?
there? That's still there, but the Fort McHenry, or that bridge is gone. But yeah, the Key Bridge, the Key Bridge
Bridge,
is
yeah.
the one that, yeah, I can see that from my house. Well, the remains.
They're supposed to, they haven't rebuilt it yet, but they're supposed to be working on it, right?
Yeah, they are. I think they're getting ready to start relatively soon.
Oh, did you go over and look at it when it came down?
Yeah, it was crazy. I couldn't believe. I thought it was fake when I saw all the coverage. I was like, there's no way that's real. But yeah, it was, and I couldn't believe it because I used to travel it quite frequently. So to see it come down that quick, yeah, that really makes you think.
Yeah, I watched the coverage on TV. I watch all that stuff, unfortunately. Airplane crashes, you know, wow. Yeah, that's good. So out of the group that you came in with, you're still sober. You and Rosa, you guys are doing it. Now you just got to make it through this, which shouldn't be too hard. You know, it's actually not hard.
Well, I mean, just have to be honest. So, I mean, I already know all of it. I just have to actually say it. So,
Yeah, if you live through it, you could write about it and you can also say it.
right.
You know, most of it, I mean, that's kind of what my little illustration was. Most of it's not bad, you know. Most of it's like, I mean, could be like not really bad, put you in prison bad, unless of course it is. Um,
I mean, I think it's worse to you. I mean, you always judge yourself harder than other people. So, you know, what you think is bad is it could be bad, but it's not as bad as you make it out to be. And there's other people that have done the same, if not worse. So, I mean, you know, we all are challenged. We all sin. So there you go.
well, yeah, and I've heard fifth steps where, you know, I mean, like really bad stuff's happened to people or taken through it, or did bad things, you know, from all forms of abuse to, you know, robbing, stealing. Um, you know, I haven't really done any fifth steps with people that killed people, but that is, you know, sort of murder type stuff. But there are fifth steps with all that sort of stuff in there. And the idea is to get the freedom from it. I think Bill Wilson, you brought him up, Kelly. So I think he was having his whole life, everything he writes about was horrible for him. I think he doesn't really talk about it too much, but I think his activities in World War I haunted him forever. You know, being on the the front lines with an artillery battery and everything that he saw. It's like that has to tear people up. Um, and you could see that it was driving him crazy. I mean, even toward the end of his life, he was depressed and fighting it and all that sort of thing. I had my first sponsor was a World War II veteran. He was a corpsman on the landings of D-Day, or not D-Day, but landings of the South Pacific. You know, Peleliu and all those places. But he never talked about it too much. He was like, he said, look, he said, I'm over that. I have 4 years sober. And by doing my fifth step, I was able to process all of that out. He said, but it is difficult when you're taking a first wave landing and you're the medic for all of these people, being hurt, and your job is to help them. And he said, and that's for me, he said, that's where God came into my life. I was able to pray for people as they passed on. So, I mean, that was pretty hardcore. But this guy, Jeff, he was kind of like you. He was very, very happy to be alive.
Yeah.
And that the thing that he saw
Yeah.
that was really wanted to kill him was alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had made it way past the Japanese holding these islands. He said, well, they
Right.
didn't
If
get
he
me.
lived through that, why shouldn't he be happy and be even exuberant about, hey man, be about, being sober. Alcohol just as bad as the Japanese on, yeah.
And that's kind of how I look at life right now. So why shouldn't I be happy?
Yes, right.
Here, I mean, I'm here, I made it through alcoholism and everything else, family, madness and all that stuff. And I mean, how bad could it be? Father
Right,
Terry
right.
came over yesterday. We watched the Rockies lose to the Giants, but I didn't really give a shit. It's like, okay, fine. And
Yeah.
yep.
Well, Jeff, alcoholic, what people don't realize, we always have to remember this disease will kill us. We're supposed to be dead a long time ago. Had we continued drinking, thank you, God. Thank you, higher power, whoever it was that helped me. Yeah, right.
If I had not come into AA in my 20s,
Absolutely.
I would not be here.
No,
Russ,
no.
that's for you. I wouldn't be here. It's like, getting sober. It's like, and then we have a complete fun life. The thing
Right.
is that alcohol is an artificial high. Once we stop drinking, the natural highs come back. Even if you never had, they will show up.
Good night,
Look at, like,
everyone.
Scar is actually talking about that. Bye, Lisa.
Bye.
Bye. Well,
It's a reality.
I certainly offended people with my comment about dogs. I thought it was pretty funny. At least Scar was laughing. Everybody else was like, "Oh no."
Dark sense of humor. So I find a lot of your jokes very entertaining. So
I know. So how you doing there, Russ? Are you any good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, so where are you down in Florida?
I'm in Tampa,
Oh, Tampa. That's right. Okay.
St. Petersburg,
Okay.
actually.
So did you like this meeting today?
Yeah.
It must.
That's fine. That's good.
Have you ever been to AA before?
Yeah, I've been to AA before.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
I've
So
been
now
to-
you have another run at it, right?
Yep.
Well, just
guess.
come here. Come here for 5 days. Don't go anywhere else.
All right.
And this is the place for you. It really is. This is new. So what have you been slipping? Is that what's happened, or you been in and out of AA, or what?
I don't know if I've been slipping. I guess I have been. I pretty much have been binging. So I binge probably once every other month. And then I stop. Then I go back to it. Because I say to myself that I can overpower it.
Oh yeah. So like
Self-will.
you get sober for a month and then you go back, kind of thing?
Yeah, sometimes longer.
How long's that been going on?
Almost 2 years.
2 years ago.
So I kind of started out drinking every day because it's just some personal situations. And then, my wife and I ended up getting a divorce. And then that's when I started binging, stopping and then binging. Whereas before I drank pretty consistently every day.
Yeah, is that rough? Not a
What?
rough way to go. Living like that?
I wouldn't say it's easy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it.
Kind of sucks.
That's why we come to these meetings and quit drinking. We end up like Scar, you feel better all the time. Start feeling better a lot. But I mean, like 16 days already. But we also do this program. That's the big key. This 12-step process, how to stay sober for. You ever do that? You ever do the 12-step process?
I've started it. I haven't completed it.
How far did you get?
Step 3.
All right. Well, with us, we'll take you right through all of them. Step 1 through 12 in about a month and a half. and then you can be born again new.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. So do you work? Do you have a job and all that, or what?
Yeah, I have a job.
So do you go to work with your alcoholism and try
I
to
work,
remain?
I work from home.
Oh yeah, the pandemic brought a lot of people into AA.
So I'm a remote worker.
What's that?
I'm a remote worker.
Oh yeah. I've been a remote worker since around fuck 2000 1990 1990. I just moved my whole company into my house, but I quit drinking. I wasn't drinking, so I never would have gotten it done. Oh man. I don't know how people can work and drink at home. I couldn't do it. Did you meet all your deadlines and get your job done while you were drinking at home, or was it a disaster?
I met all my deadlines.
Yeah.
The binging, that's getting harder.
Oh yeah. Well, that's my suggestion. Just come here. Come here for 5 days.
Only
See how you
5
like
days,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, 5 days, Jeff, right? See how you like
5
it.
days it is, yeah. See if you like it, yeah.
Well,
Well,
more dog stories tomorrow.
Hmm?
I said we'll have more dog stories tomorrow. God.
I think I'm the only one that laughed that hard, but
You certainly did. I'm like I used to work in talk radio, and when I got off the air at night, at midnight here in Denver, there was a psychologist that came on every night, and he would have a psychologist and his wife, both psychologists, and they were taking calls from around the country. And every single night, without fail, there would be somebody who called in that they were having a romantic relationship with their dog or pet. I would listen to it on my way home, and I'd be like, I would laugh so hard. I'd be like, "Are you kidding? This couldn't possibly be serious. I've never heard of such a thing in my whole life." And I was like, "Oh my God." Uh, so they had a big audience too.
I believe it.
Yeah.
The
Garcia,
sad thing is they probably were the ones.
seeing that in the background reminds me of the Delaware Bay, the skipjacks down there. You know, the wind with the wind powered oyster.
Oh yeah.
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 That's how far back I go. Oh, seeing those and saying, "Wow, that's really interesting." You know. Yeah.
Are those real tattoos, or is that a tattoo sleeve?
No, that they're real.
Oh, okay. I should get tattoo sleeves, you think? Then I
Yeah.
could take. Huh?
Then you
Yeah.
can take them off and put them on.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I'll do that. That'll frighten people in the meeting one day. Oh, God, what did he do now? Well, we're all alcoholics here, and it's like, I mean, I've heard everything you can possibly think of in an AA meeting. Generally, pretty funny. And a good crew. And if we can't like laugh at everything, it's we get to that point. We might as well, because you know this beating yourself up over things, it's like there's too much is paid for that. Who needs to, what's the point, Jeff, of beating yourself up over everything?
Apparently, we did that, or what? And I didn't even realize it. It's funny. We beat it. Apparently, what we learned in the program, we beat ourselves up over these things when we were drinking, but we didn't realize it, and we thought we were good guys, and we're doing every day. We do worse than the beat up stuff before. We find a reason to, we'd act in a way totally selfish, self centered. What a mess! I miss it not. Thank you, AA, higher power, steps 1 through 12. Thank you. Yeah, that keeps me making them work them, because Yeah, I don't just sit on them. I can't. Otherwise, I might be drunk again. I don't want that to happen. It's worked for 39 years, one day at a time. I'll do what the program says and keep learning the steps.
That's a long
And
time.
Jan, you mentioned one thing that's interesting too, because I have long, not I'm not talking about check-ins. I thought that was a good thing, sort of thing for people to do, but I would never demand it. But I was always suspicious of one-on-one sponsorship. Because when I came in, they were saying, "Oh, always run everything by your sponsor." And I'm thinking to myself, "Wait a minute, that man knows, or he knows some
Yeah,
things that
what do
other
they
things."
know? That's the whole thing about a sponsor. They know only what they've been taught, and if they've been taught poorly and they don't know anything, they're
Right,
useless.
right,
That's when 11 years in, that's when I landed on a group like this. And then
right.
I thought, oh, wow, this is really something. These people are really smart. They know a lot. And that's when I got moving. I mean, I was sober, but I really got moving. And that's when
Right,
everything
yes.
changed,
Yep. And that's the
So,
fact. Yeah, that's right. That's a fast track. You grab hold of the, yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
And then we, finally really, so that's the big part for us. No, that's, yeah, one-on-one sponsor, it's like really, that's why we don't allow that in here. Because I mean, it's good if you're like teaching what we're doing here, because what we're doing is basic AA. But then where are we going from there? Honestly. And uh, and then you got people calling you every day, they want to whine and complain about my poor life. I'm like, no, no, no.
No,
I
no.
mean, everybody had something was wrong with their life when we got here and sobered up. Everybody has that. So we all have that in common. But we can recover and we can recover and become very healthy too.
Yep.
Mentally, physically, emotionally.
Yep.
Become 100%. The turnaround is amazing. I mean, look at Scar right there.
That's great. I mean, I was on the fence when I joined the meeting, and it was one or the other for me. And I'm a very extreme person, so I was like, I'm either going to do it or I'm going to go and drink until I'm done. Like one or the other. We'll see which one it is. And I came.
Yep.
And then I came the next day, and then the next day, and I was struggling. Like I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna go have a drink. Thought about it. Then somehow I got back on the meeting instead of drinking, but I had already planned out that I was gonna drink. And I was fine with that decision. And then I didn't do it. And I've not done it every day since. And I don't feel the same as I did before. And we speak about the higher power, and I had prayed over the weekend that I joined the meeting. And it's, coincidental that I found the meeting on Easter Sunday. And I had went to a meeting. Uh-huh. I didn't hear you. What'd you say, Jan?
I said, is that right? And that keep going.
Yeah, I did. I found the meeting on Easter Sunday, and I had went to a meeting before this one, and I was like, it's the same old sob story. Everybody wants the spotlight on them, and I didn't feel good about that. And then I was like, man, fuck it, I'm gonna drink. And then I saw this meeting, and I was like, well, before I do that, let me try this. And then I joined the meeting, and then it resonated with me, and I've been here ever since. And I do believe that God led me to this meeting.
Yeah,
too.
sometimes leaving this meeting the way a couple of people just did, it can be tough because then you're confronted with leaving and you're confronted with drinking. And it's like, really? So you left to drink? No, I didn't. I left because this happened or that happened or this happened or that happened. And now I'm drinking. So you left to drink? No, I didn't. Well, but you're drinking. No, I'm not. Well, isn't that drinking right there? No. Well, what is that? It's none of your business. That's what that is. And then we get to that. See, that's
Yeah. Oh, sure. Sure.
So I'm glad that I came to the meeting, and I like your structure, and I like your approach. Some people, I think you probably rub the wrong way, or they get offended in their feelings,
Sure.
but I don't. Like I like that. So that was a good thing for me. So
I'm not trying to be mean to anybody, really,
No,
honestly.
I know you're not.
Right,
Not
right.
all I'm doing is saying, okay, this is what we're doing, and let's just keep going here. Because I always try to explain, it's a class. That's what Jeff said when he came. He had 39 years. He could have said, well, I have 39 years. I'm not listening to this. No, he didn't. He didn't do that. What Jeff did was he said, I have 39 years, but what is this? This is a whole new, my
Right.
goodness, this is AA all the way.
Jeff, alcoholic. See, Sklar, the thing is, we're taught we have to give it away to keep it. We don't have to, but since I don't want to drink and die, I'll give it away. But I want to give it away correctly, which the steps are correct, are the way to do it. That doesn't change.
So,
And
well, that's
today,
true.
you know, this is the only place I found where I'm getting the steps every, you know, just every day, literally, and with all the new people coming in and being held, my feet held to the fire. We have, you know, assignments. So that's good. It works. There used to be a saying, and this is where sometimes we want everybody to go to meetings out there, but meetings can be dangerous. If the steps don't change, the steps are where it's at. There used to be a saying, well, there's a way. Sometimes what we do is you want an opinion on something, so you just go around the room and ask some of the people after the meetings or in the intermission or whatever what they think about it, till you get the person who agrees with you, even if your thinking on it is off base. And here the steps don't let us do that. The steps are the steps. You know, the
That's
steps
true.
aren't me. I can get you off base. They're not Jan. They're not anybody else. The steps are the steps, and they've worked. They have not changed since 1930s, and they worked then and they work now. Yeah.
You know, that's so true. Um, so we go through this 12-step process
Yep.
in order to not drink, and we heal our mind, we heal our body,
Yep.
and we heal our spirit. And that is enormous. We heal our spirit, Jeff.